Could you talk about that very interesting story you have involving Chyna that is such a wrestling type of situation, please?
Chyna. Actually, I named Chyna. We got a late night call. I was with an art director. It was after hours, and I think that they were going to be on that night. And we took out a book of baby names, celebrity baby names, and just went through the list. And Chyna, who's actually Chyna Phillips, I don't know if you would know the mamas and the papas, but it was like, what do you think of the name Chyna? It's like, it's strong, it's beautiful, and they went with it. So I adored Chyna, and I was fortunate. I worked on a photo shoot with her and Hunter. And it was my campaign I designed, and they had just kind of come out as a tag team. And if you recall, there was like a steam train, like a locomotive train behind them. And it was just about this like force coming at you, not to be stopped. And Chyna had just sort of redid her look, her face. And I just thought she looked stunning. And I was just so proud, and I was so happy for her and Hunter. They were just like, they were having their moment. And I was really happy to be part of, like, seeing her shine and being able to bring a pay-per-view campaign with them together. And then I just, kind of, unfortunately, we saw where that went and how the soap opera of it all became reality. I remember being backstage. We were on the road, and we had to do a photo shoot for the Divas. There was going to be a huge banner on Times Square. And if you've ever seen this, some days they do this in like men's bathrooms where like women will be like kind of pointing down, like pose, but like, and that's what it was. The Divas were going to be doing this shoot. They were going to be featured in Times Square looking down and pointing, however. So the only one that didn't want to cooperate at that shoot was Chyna. And I think she had just become a champion, and she was a diva. She wanted her own dressing room, and she was being really, really like a pain in the ass, but it was her moment, like let her be. But it was the same time that it was coming out about Stephanie and Hunter, and that whole thing was breaking down, and we all knew it. And it was like so high school Mean Girls stuff. And I just remember Chyna like being in her faux dressing room. It was probably an extra bathroom, and she didn't want to come out. And it was like, we have to do this shoot. And she was being a diva, but she was also dealing with a tremendous amount of emotional, heartbreak. I can only imagine what it was like. So anytime I would see Chyna, whether it was like, I think it was at the opening for the World. I mean, someone said, oh, she always had a puss on her face. She always looked pissed off. Well, can you blame her? She's got a lot. She's carrying a lot, and she's working in the company where, she has to face the people that, kind of, broke her heart. But sure as hell, she had an engagement ring on when I saw her when we were filming the Super Bowl commercial, and it was done and we were in a scene that was taking place in the lobby. And I remember she had somebody in a hole, like her legs were like wrapped around their neck or something. And in between takes, we were laughing, and I saw her ring. So, who knows? It's very sad. But that's just another casualty of business that can eat you up alive, and it's unfortunate.